My name is Terry David Mulligan. This is a combination of Tasting Room Radio and the Mulligan Stew podcast. That's 2 out of 3. It's really good. Shawn Edwards has been on before. If you go to the podcast, you can see Shawn's picture all over the place. Good, great photo. Shawn Edwards is with Fox News 4 in Kansas City. He's co-founder of the African American Film Critics Association. He is on the board of directors and a reviewer for Critics' Choice, the broadcast film critics, and is the co-founder of or maybe even the founder of the Celebration of Black Cinema. Did I get what do I want to add or take out?
No, I mean, I'm not the founder of the Celebration of Black Cinema, but I created the idea, and then the CCA, the Critics' Choice Station, they took the idea and gave birth to it.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure I got it right because, again, I remind you.
You got it right.
I am your editor. Yes.
Because everybody listening is going to be like, yeah, blah, blah, blah.
No, listen. But I can make you anything you want to be. You can be vice president or whatever. Who's going to stop me?
I just want to be a guy that loves watching movies and drinking wine.
Thank you, bud.
By the way, I just took a sip of that Black Girl Magic Red.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's like a shameless plug, though, because they were the sponsor of this year's Celebration of Black Cinema.
That's good. And so, do you know what the blend is? Do you know what the wine is?
It's I think they call it. I don't know what the blend is.
Okay.
I know it's called Black Girl Magic Red, and the name of the company is the McBride sisters. They're two sisters. I
am going to go and talk to them. I wrote them.
Yeah, you have to talk to them.
I have to talk to them.
Talk to the McBride sisters. I mean, 2 Black women that make their own wine, and they're really hitting it big right now.
Now, listen, I just want to say to the audience and listening and viewing on YouTube channel that this is between the Golden Globes and the Critics' Choice Awards. Critics' Choice Awards are going to be happening on the 15th in Los Angeles. The Globes just happened, so we know from our timestamp about why we're talking about these films, so we can talk about Jared Carmichael and his hosting the opening monologue. What did you think of it?
I mean, I get what he was going for. I wish he would have made those remarks during the press conference when they announced he was hosting, because I wanted to tune into the Golden Globes and see a bit more fun. I wanted to see a bit more exciting. I just wanted it to be sort of like a bigger, happier moment. I know the Hollywood Foreign Press has gone through some controversies the past couple of years, but I'm not under the belief that we really needed to bring those controversies to the show. Like, you can address the controversies before the show, you can address the controversies after the show.
It shouldn't be the show.
Don't do it during the show. Don't do it during the show, because as a movie lover, I'm there to watch a celebration of cinema. I understand the politics of being unethical. I understand the politics of racism. I understand all of that, but I don't need that in my show. I mean, that's why I love the Celebration of Black Cinema, because it's a show where there's nothing but joy and love in the room. It's just such an amazing experience. But that's also why I appreciate the Critics' Choice Awards, because it's happening this Sunday, January 15th. And I think that show is going to be a lot of fun. I think you're going to see a lot of joy. I think you're going to feel a lot of excitement. And that's what I wanted from the Golden Globes. Like, as a kid, I remember watching the Golden Globes and, seeing Jack Nicholson and Robin Williams and Julia Roberts and, all the greats that were having just a really good time on television. And that was completely missing from this year's Golden Globes, because the first 10 minutes just sucked all the air out of the room.
Yeah.
It sounded more like a speech a politician would make, more so than what you would get from the host of an awards show. Like, I just really needed it to be a celebration of cinema. I just really wanted them to recognize all the great and cool movies that happened in 2022, and just have all the participants go up on stage and receive their Golden Globe and make crazy speeches and moving speeches, and everybody in the audience have a good time. We know that the Hollywood Foreign Press did some bad things. We just didn't need to be reminded of those bad things that night.
the Critics' Choice Awards on Sunday, coming from Los Angeles, the heart of Hollywood, actually. It is different from the Golden Globes. There's a different vibe to it.
That's it's a different vibe. You know what? There's a couple of reasons why it's a different vibe. It's a different vibe because the people that vote for the Critics' Choice Awards are actually functioning critics to represent cities all across Canada and the United States, where the Golden Globe is more of an exclusive club of people. So it's more, I think the Critics' Choice is more representative of how people actually go out and watch movies and dictates the movies that real people actually love and celebrate. So I think that's the one difference. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun in the room. It's table style like the Golden Globes. There's champagne flowing all night. There's drinks flowing all night. And, you know, people tend to get a little loopy by the end of the evening. So, I mean, you never know what to expect by the end. But I think Sunday night show, which is, you know, being broadcast live on the CW network, is going to be a really good time. I think it's going to be a good time. But I was really sad that the Golden Globes wasn't as fun as I needed it to be. I really needed the Golden Globes to be fun. Like, I like the Golden Globes. I mean, I know it's kind of like competition to what we do with the Critics' Choice Awards, but I like it. I grew up on the Golden Globe Awards. I like the Golden Globe Awards. I needed it to be fun. I needed it to be entertaining, and it wasn't fun, and it wasn't entertaining, and I was disappointed by the end of the night.
Shawn, have you voted
for the Critics' Choice?
Yeah,
of course I voted.
Well, no, but the deadline was Friday, so I mean, and I'm seeing comments underneath. I'm seeing comments underneath saying this was the easiest vote ever. And I'm going, wait a minute. It is not.
If you say it's easy, then I don't know. I'm gonna have to question your film critic certification card. It's never easy. Because I mean, you in the course of a year you'll watch what 100, 125, 150, 200 movies, and to whittle that down to like 5 movies and 3 performances in each category. No. I mean. There was some good stuff last year. Just to choose a couple out of all of that, it's incredibly hard to vote. It's so subjective.
You know what was the easiest one? There was only one easy tab.
Which one was easy?
For ensemble. And
that was hard. Ensemble was really hard.
Okay, but for me, I just went, it's women. If it's truly an ensemble, truly working together as an ensemble, not just cut in, walk out of scenes, it's women talking. I just said, that's it. Okay. Other than that, everything else was tough. So let me start.
Yeah, but Sarah Pauly is also from Canada, so you were leaning that way anyway.
Okay, I'm going to throw
that from Canada.
I'm going to throw that back at you in just a second. Listen, we can't do them all, but let's start with
let's do a couple. Yeah, let's do a couple. Which one you want to go with?
Director.
Director was extremely difficult. But here's my criteria for selecting the winner of Best Director.
Yeah.
I look at all the films that are nominated and all the directors that are nominated, and I say, which one of these films could have only been directed by that person?
Yeah.
And it's Elvis.
Okay. Because it's Baz Luhrmann.
Yep. Like, Steven Spielberg can't direct Elvis, but Baz Luhrmann can direct The Fabelmans.
Huh.
Steven Spielberg can't direct Elvis. Everybody can direct Avatar if they have the access to the technology.
Oh, the smarts.
Wow.
No,
I put Elvis was the most unique. I mean, if you look at the skill and the style of the film, that movie required a lot of directing.
Yeah. Well, I think, frankly, you've watched film sets. You know that a director is pulled into it like a vortex, and the 6 weeks of their life is gone. It's a blur, and the only reason they remember it is because they can see it on the screen. Okay, let's.
So who'd you go with for director? Who'd you go with?
Spielberg.
Okay, Fabelman. Good choice.
Yep. By the way, Shawn Edwards from Fox, Kansas City, Critics' Choice Awards. He's the guy. And that's why we go to him. The 28th Annual Critics' Choice Awards at the Century Plaza Hotel. And going to be live stream on the CW. I watch part of it on KTLA. I want to ask you about Best Supporting Actor. I'll tell you who I voted for, and I'll just set it up like this. Brendan Gleeson from the Banshees of Inisherin. I followed his career, and I thought this was something very special for him.
it was a very special performance in a special movie. But I went with the guy from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Okay.
So I thought he was the thread that made that film work.
That guy, he won the Globe, did he not?
I know, and I'm so embarrassed. I can't even recall his name right now, but great performance.
Supporting actress. I voted for Jessie Buckley from Women Talking.
See, because that Women Talking is a de facto Canadian film. I went with Angela Bassett, Wakanda Forever, because she was the only good thing in the film, and she saved that movie from being a train wreck.
Slow down on that wine, my friend. Actress.
The actress was the most competitive category, but at the end of the day, man, you had to go with the lady supreme, Kate Blanchett.
Well, there's Viola Davis.
Yeah, I know.
There's Danielle. There's Margot Robbie.
Tar's a special movie.
There's Michelle Williams, right? Michelle Williams.
But what Kate Blanchett did in Tar is just a special movie.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I've followed music films all my life, and there's nothing more painful than watching someone attempt to either play an instrument like a violin or a piano, and you have to cut around the fact that they can't and they don't know where the notes are. And to conduct is ridiculously hard. I've done it. I love conducting, but she was incredible. She was totally into that.
Yeah, she's great. She's great. I gave her my vote. She's great. We'll see if she wins. Michelle Yeoh was equally as impressive, but I don't know if she can edge out Kate Blanchett, though. And I did appreciate Danielle Deadweiler's performance in Till, but because she's such a newcomer, not a chance to win.
Okay. Actor. Brendan Fraser.
I went with my man who portrayed the Mr. Elvis Presley.
Okay. Did you consider Cruise?
Nope.
Colin Farrell?
A little bit.
Brendan Fraser?
Nope. I didn't connect with the whale.
Okay. But you connected with Elvis?
I did, and I wasn't an Elvis Presley fan, and I watched the movie and I liked the movie. I thought it was impressively done.
How about picture? How about the Big Shot?
Woo! Man, that was Best Picture's hard. Best Picture's so hard. But when it came time to make that final vote and say, this is...
All right, let me give me the three that you considered. Yeah. You narrowed it down to three. Which were the three?
I did narrow it down to three. I narrowed it down to Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Yep.
The Fabelmans, and Top Gun.
Wow. And what happened to Elvis?
I like Elvis probably more than those three, but remember, this is a vote. I'm trying to be strategic, and I want to vote for the movie that's going to win.
What was your vote?
I went with Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
And why?
It was unique, truly original. I thought they really scrambled the eggs with that one. It was such a different story. It was quirky. You can't define it. Is it sci-fi? Is it comedy? Is it a family drama? And the cast was incredible. I just felt it was fresh. I mean, my heart always bleeds for Steven Spielberg. Like, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today if it weren't for Steven Spielberg. Like, I grew up on Steven Spielberg films.
We all did.
In my opinion, Steven Spielberg should have 10 Oscars for Best Director. So, no, my heart always bleeds. Steven Spielberg can put out anything, my heart's going to bleed for it. But I just thought Everything, Everywhere, All at Once was just too unique to ignore.
I'm kind of there's a byline, as you well know, Shawn, about award shows ignoring films or not voting for films or not giving the award to films that make a lot of dough. I'm looking at this Top Gun, which did millions. I'm looking at Elvis, which did really well. Avatar, which did really well.
Avatar, right.
And will continue to do that. And yet they seem to get shut out of the actual creative awards.
Well, when they're not, but they only get shut out when they're not excellent. Like Titanic made a boatload of money, excuse the pun, and it won Best Picture.
It did.
Lord of the Rings, Return of the King made a ton of money and it won Best Picture.
It did.
Back in the day, Gladiator made a ton of money and won Best Picture. Silence of the Lamb made a ton of money and made Best. So
okay, fine.
It has to make a lot of money and be good.
Yeah.
Like you can make a lot of money and be good. You can win. Like, I didn't necessarily think Avatar 2 was that great.
Did you remember? Do you remember see the critics' reviews for Top Gun? People were going. They were going crazy. They couldn't pull out enough adjectives, and I thought, well,
No, I thought, and at the time, I thought they went a little overboard on Top Gun Maverick.
yeah.
To me, Top Gun Maverick was too similar to the original. I mean, all right, so the very beginning theme was a straight ripoff of The Right Stuff. The ending was a straight ripoff of Star Wars. And in between was the same stuff you got from the first movie, but instead of playing volleyball on the beach, in this movie they played flag football on the beach. Tom Cruise, a whole bunch of motorcycle montages, same jacket, falls in love with the girl very easily, the same way. There's tension in the locker room with the fighter pilots. It's the same as the original. It's the true definition of a retread.
But what a retread, man! They pulled it off.
It made money. But look, it made money. You gotta remember, people will buy anything. We're dealing with the same species that a long time ago made the pet rock popular.
Huh.
I feel just because a bunch of people go see it or buy tickets does not determine greatness.
He is. By the way,
millions and millions of people bought Milli Vanilli's album.
All right, a couple of things. There will be no dialogue about diversity at the Critics' Choice Awards because we have always been.
Right. No, that's out the window. There's no need for that conversation.
None of that.
Critics' Choice Association has been very diverse before diversity became popular and cool. We have a series of programming. We do celebration of Black cinema, celebration of Asian cinema, celebration of Latina cinema.
Documentaries, love that.
Documentaries. We have women, we have men, we have Black, whites, Asians, Hispanics that are members. Not just members, but also on the leadership board.
And you have Canadians.
You have Canadians. We have LGBT. Like it's like no, we're checking all the boxes and we're proud of it, and nobody forced us to do so. The Critics' Choice Association is a real. It's about as close to you can come to reflecting what real life is like.
Now, Shawn, we have always prided ourselves in the fact that when you look at who wins the Oscars down the road, check back at our boxes and realize that we are foretelling, right? Is that strength still there? Are we still foretelling what's going to happen at the Oscars?
It's getting thinner. It's getting a little thinner. Like, we did okay last year, but we missed on Best Picture because we went with Power of the Dog, and the eventual winner of the Oscar for Best Picture was Coda. We're a good predictor, but our accuracy is definitely dropping.
Okay. We'll get on that.
I just have to be honest. I think because people can Google and check. I have to be honest. We're not as close as we used to be. But that's because there's been the Oscars have been going through this sort of shift on what they're awarding Best Picture. You know, they've been going smaller, more indie with like Nomadland, and Coda. There's been a slight, the big Hollywood blockbuster franchise thing is kind of faded a little bit in recent years with the Oscars. So we'll see. I don't know. I know a lot of people are really rooting for Top Gun Maverick or Avatar 2. I mean, good for you, but it ain't happening.
No. Listen, we're coming up to, I'll let you go here. We're coming up to Black History Month and film storytelling, filmmaking, documentary making on screens, whether they're big or small, is playing a huge part and role in describing what that history is all about. Looking at Till here, do you look forward to that? Do you hold them accountable?
I love it. No, I love it. This has been the golden age of telling stories about the Black experience. And to be quite honest, the thing that really leveled the playing field are the streamers. Netflix, Apple TV, Amazon Prime, HBO Max, Peacock. The expansion of those platforms have allowed the ability of more storytellers to tell their truths, to tell their perspective, and it's better for all of us. And it's such a great year. there's so much content now about the Black experience that actually producing the celebration of Black cinema is really hard because you really got to like figure out what's the best of the best. Unlike when we first started it way back in 2014,
Yeah.
we just grabbed whatever was out there because it was like two or three things. They're like, okay, we want that. But now it's so different. It's like diversity within diversity now. It's like it's a Herculean task to decide like, ooh, who really is the best Black actress this year? Ooh, who is the best Black actor? What really is the best? No, it's hard. Like before, you only have 2 directors to choose from. Like this year, we had like, believe it or not, across the spectrum, more than 30. So it really has and it's good to see. It's changed. It's changed with Black cinema. It's changed with Latino cinema. It's changed with Asian cinema. There's just a lot more diversity and a lot more content. And like I said, you got to give credit where credit is due. Thank you to the streamers that have really opened up their platforms to allow more people to participate in the cinematic process.
I have one final question. It's a doozy. I just thought of it. You ready?
All right, what is it?
I have known you for a long time, and
oh yeah, we go way back, man.
Way back, man.
We gotta write that novel one day. It'd be semi-interesting. It'd be semi-interesting.
Here's the thing. I know for a fact that you support Black films. You do. You go out of your way to support.
No, I do. Yeah.
You do
for a long time.
You do. When it comes to actually voting, can you remove your Blackness from yourself and that actor and that filmmaker and what they're saying and what the storyline is?
100%.
Okay, but how long did it take for you to get to that spot?
No, I've always been like that.
Okay, fine.
Growing up, my mom took me to the movies, and we watched everything. Like the movie that we would go to the movie theater and watch on repeat was The Sound of Music. It ain't a single Black person in The Sound of Music. I was a huge fan of the 10 Commandments. Not a single person in the 10 Commandments. I'm a huge fan of the first Star Wars. Not a single Black person in Star Wars, unless you count Chewbacca. Like it's like so. I grew up like as a kid watching everything. Like one of my all-time favorite movies ever is Back to the Future. There's no Black people in Back to the Future. No, not even an extra. So
not even Chuck Berry.
No, yeah, it's easy to separate. So it's like. When it comes time to voting, I'm a film critic.
Okay.
I'm a film critic first, and I just happen to be Black.
All right. You know what? I got to tell you one story. I can't remember what the film was. We were in the same theater, and it was the first time I'd ever gone to a film where there was a general audience. And the general audience was almost entirely Black. And I had forgotten how that audience will talk to the screen. The lady down to the right of me is saying, "Don't do that. Don't go in that room. Don't say that. Don't do that."
It's like church.
I love it.
It's so fun. No, it's got to be the right movie though. Like, you really don't want the audience talking back to the screen doing Schindler's List. Yeah. But if it's Coming to America too, we're all right. It's okay.
I love that. It's an element that I just wish would come back. I know that you got to go pick an outfit for your. What are you going to be wearing?
I'm a man. That black tux and a white shirt.
Okay, fine. Have yourself a great Critics' Choice Sunday. How do people connect with you? What's your official social handle?
I mean, the easiest way, technically, is just type in my name, SHAWN. Edwards, and go to Google, and all of it populates after.
Cool. That'll be the Google machine. Thank you, buddy.
The Google machine, man.
And the winner is Shawn Edwards, Fox News 4, Kansas City.
No, Mr. Terry David Mulligan, man. I love the show. Thanks for the time again, man. We always have a blast on the show, man. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Shawn.